Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is MUFC versus everybody. I am your host, Sean. Just want to adjust something real quick. There we go. Welcome back. Obviously, today we're going to be chatting a little bit about last night's preseason closer, I guess you want to call it, the end of our preseason tour, our final match again ahead of the Community Shield next week. Obviously, it was 3-0 loss to Liverpool. We're going to be talking about that. Apparently, though, it was a Champions League final, the way some of these fans are reacting today. I'm going to turn these numbers. Just the way people have been reacting to the result, the performance. It's the way it feels, right? Just everyone just take a moment to breathe, right? From the diaphragm, not from the chest. Just breathing from the diaphragm is a good relaxation technique. Do we need to try some maybe some muscle relaxation? I mean, everyone just needs to calm the F down, all right? Good now? We all good? You remember that last night was just a preseason friendly and not a Premier League fixture, not a cup final. Like, it's everyone, we're alive, we're still here. We're going to dive into that. Obviously, the match reaction. We're going to talk a little bit about Ten Hag's comments, maybe talk a little bit about injuries as well. But before we do get stuck in, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. And let's get started, everyone. I want to get a little bit of potential transfer news out of the way first, though. So not much, obviously, developing the last few days. Like I've said, not much does really occur on the match days and stuff during these preseason friendlies. It is what it is. But there's potential news regarding a player that we have been linked with in recent weeks, and that's Federico Chiesa. So Juventus manager Thiago Motta yesterday did confirm some pretty interesting news about Chiesa and several other players in the Juventus squad. He confirmed that Chiesa and all the other players who weren't called up for their friendly last night against Brest are not part of the project moving forward. So he said the club has been clear with all these players. They have to find a new solution, a new club as soon as possible. Interesting, right? Obviously, we've been linked with Chiesa. Reportedly, we've spoken with his representatives. A few other Premier League clubs have been linked with him as too. I think Chelsea, I think Spurs. So it's interesting. Would you guys want Chiesa? Would you take Chiesa at United? I know he's had some injury issues in the past. I think right now, personally, we're kind of flush with wingers at United. Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Ahmad, Antony. We've got a lot of wingers. Not all of them may be quality, Antony, and not all of them might have the right attitude, Sancho. But they're here and they're taking up wages. I can't see us going out and targeting a new winger unless we have plans to sell one of these other guys. Again, we have to sell. If we are interested in Chiesa, we're going to have to sell. So would you take him over, Antony, Sancho? Do you see him playing over Ahmad, Rashford, Garnacho? Let me know what you think about that little bit of news. And it's funny on the Juventus situation. So we spoke a little bit yesterday about Conor Gallagher being basically given us ultimatum by Chelsea. Listen, sign the new contract, find a new club, or you're going to be banished from the first team, basically. And we saw that yesterday, and then all this Juventus stuff coming out today. And it's so interesting to me see all these United fans online who are basically in support of this, saying like, see, this is what Ten Hag needs to be doing. This is what Ineos needs to be doing. This is what we need to be doing with guys like McTominay, Eriksen, Maguire. This is what we need to be doing, Antony. These are the same United fans who called Ten Hag a bully for the Sancho situation. Now they're like, yeah, banish them all. Like, football fans are weird sometimes. I include myself in that, so no offense. So let me know how you feel about that. Would you take Chiesa at United? Like I said, we were linked with him last week. Some people were for it, some people against it. We do have a lot of wingers, need to get rid of them if we want to bring anybody in. I think wingers, the wide players are the one area right now I don't see at all as a priority, but we'll see. So on to last night's friendly. I'm going to use the word friendly a lot because apparently I need to remind everybody that was a friendly the way everyone is reacting right now. Um, it's just so interesting to me, right? So we started off bright, good pressing, getting a lot of chances. We did look the better team, I think, just in terms of getting forward, getting chances. We were getting into the final third. We were getting off a lot of shots. Probably could have had a few goals had it not been for some rusty, kind of poor finishing, and from some really good saves from Liverpool's keepers. Just not taking our chances. And we've seen this movie 100 times, right? When it comes to United, it's been like this for years. It was like this under Jose Mourinho, Louis Van Gaal, Ollie. Like we get into really good positions, we just can't finish our dinner. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. I thought Casemiro was very, very sloppy for their opener. He stepped out to kind of try to close down Carvalho. Pretty much just it looked like he like hurt himself for a second, right? He like did the splits, and then he just was kind of kneeling like he's Tim Tebow. If you know, you know, and just watching Carvalho kind of drop a shoulder, step by him, and get into the area, like that's sloppy. A guy with Casemiro's experience and his age, and just the quality that he is, should not be making those kind of mistakes. That's very, very sloppy. I thought the second half, Casemiro was very, very sloppy as well with his passing. I know I've said many times, Casemiro, every match, at least once a match, you can depend on him to make one random cross pitch pass in his own half straight to an opposition player, and he did that over and over. He was just giving away the ball, like, and looking around like it was everyone else's fault. It's like, dude, you need to look where you're passing the ball. He does all these no look, one touch passes, and it's just you don't know what you're doing, bro. So I thought he was very, very sloppy, especially in the second half. I thought Collier was, again, it's harsh because it's Mo Salah, but I thought for their second goal, I thought that he was very weak. I thought he kind of let Salah get by him a little too quickly. It was like when you play, it's like when you're playing football and you try to go for like the glory tackle and you miss, and then you're just, or like when Anthony does a slide tackle, it was just very weak. Salah blew right past him. I'm not going to go in on too harsh, like I said, because it's Mo Salah at the end of the day. But I think that what frustrated me more about that goal was, again, the fact that it was just a simple Salah gets to the byline, puts the ball back in the box. No one's paying attention. No one's marking, and it just gets put in. And you could put a highlight reel, I guess you would call it a low light reel in this case, of just United conceding those kind of goals over and over again. It killed us in the Champions League last season. It killed us in the league many, many times. We dropped points against Brentford, for instance, because of a simple goal like that. It's schoolboy defending errors. It's embarrassing. It should not be happening at this level. Yes, it's a friendly, but we've seen it happen in Champions League. Like I said, we've seen it happen in cups, and we've seen it happen in the league. And again, it's one of those things where, how do you blame that on Ten Hag? How do you blame him on the fact, like, at this level, does a manager really have to tell his players, like, guys, simple cutback goal? What are you doing? It was like that match against Coventry in the cup, the semifinal. Like, how you're up 3-0 going into like the 70 some odd minute. How much management needs to happen at that point, right? What does a manager have to do? So, I think that second goal really, and again, this is the same story, same United, different day, right? It's just, the second goal, it was like the whole mentality, the whole attitude, the whole just collective heads in the squad all dropped. And everyone just started strolling. Everybody was just kind of not really looking up for it. Rashford was getting a little sloppy. Casemiro was getting more and more sloppy. The youngsters looked like they were trying, but obviously it's Mo Salah. What are you going to do? The refs, again, the refs were garbage. I looked up the ref last night. This guy's an MLS ref. He's like younger. He's way younger than I am. He's only been reffing in the MLS. Like, he was not calling fouls. There was a foul that should have been called. Should have been a yellow card to Tsimikas in that early in the second half, when Ahmad, after a brilliant bit of skill, got into the area just outside the box, and Tsimikas had a handful of his shirt and basically pulled him back. Not even a foul was given for that. Like, this is the kind of crap that's been going on throughout the entire preseason. But literally a few minutes later, there was a 50-50 challenge in the air, and the ref literally showed a yellow to Harry Amas. Like what the hell, man? The refs have been garbage. I do I do force them to shoulder some of the blame for these injuries because they're not calling fouls, let alone giving cards, and it's just letting rough tackles and late fouls go in unchallenged and leading to injuries. Um, it's been a shambles, and it's not just me saying that. A lot of the commentators, like if you're watching on ESPN or MUTV, like the commentators are saying the refs have not been up to it this whole tournament. And again, it's an MLS standard referee, and that's just not. I'm not happy about that at all. McTominay, not really present at all in the match, doing McTominay things off the ball, but literally just the bright moments for McTominay. He was just when he was popping up in the box and creating chaos. If he was just a little better footballer, he could have put a couple chances away. But that's literally what I've seen. Like, and what have I said? His best thing is his finishing, and he's popping up in the box and causing problems, and that's what he was doing. But other than that, I mean, he can't pass the ball. He had an opportunity early in the second half. There was a little bit of a 1-2 where he got the ball. Instead of just kind of flicking it back and laying into the 1-2 to give and go, he tried to carry it himself through a bunch of players, lost it cheaply, and then Liverpool just launched a counterattack. It's just that's what you get from McTominay. He'll pop up in the area with a random goal, but other than that, he doesn't offer much. And that's not trying to be harsh or mean. I'm just being honest with what I see. I'm getting super, super frustrated with Andre Onana's nasty habit of parrying saves right back into the dangerous area, right into the box in front of him. I don't understand how at this level as a keeper, you can't parry the ball away or just smother it yourself. He's constantly, time and time again, a shot comes in, the box is already populated with opposition, and he palms it right back into the area, and the opposition just gets a simple tap in. That's what happened with Liverpool's third goal. That goal was offside in the build-up anyway, so again, another offside goal, just not called for being offside. But like, what is Onana like? What do we have to do to get him to be like, bro, just parry it sideways? Like, what are you doing, man? That's like the one thing you need to do as a keeper is not put the ball back. He's on the ground already. He's not very coordinated and agile, so he's already in the negative there. And then he just puts the ball. He basically just puts it on a plate, and he does this all the time, and it's so frustrating. I don't have a problem with him personally. I think he is good on the ball, but I've said many, many times, give me a keeper who can make a save over a keeper who can pick a pass any day of the week. Okay, like, that's your job. Again, the refs, preseason, and my notes are all over the place because I was taking notes as I was watching the game a little bit. But the refs in preseason have just been garbage. No fouls called, no cards except the one we got. Injuries left and right. 2 offside goals allowed against us. One against Arsenal, one last night. And of course, the only yellow card I've seen was against us, man. And we get another injury, man. It's like injury roulette, people. That's what these preseason friendlies have been. That's all friendlies are whenever I see a friendly pop up, whether it's international or preseason. Injury roulette. It's just roll the dice, see who's going to freaking pick up a knock. I don't get why Onana wasn't subbed off for Bayindir either at halftime. I didn't get that. What was the point of buying Altay Bayindir? Like, taking a first-team keeper from the Turkish league and basically just letting him rot on the bench. It's a waste of a career. It doesn't make sense to me. What was the point of that? We have young keepers. We maybe could have convinced Kovar to stick around a little bit. I really like Kovar. Obviously, he won a lot with Bayer Leverkusen last season. I think he was really good when he was on loan in the Czech league. Kovar was excellent. We could have maybe stuck with him for a year and see how he did. Did anybody else notice the booing whenever Rashford was on the ball in the first half, especially? What was that all about? Is this the rival thing, or like did something like I didn't start watching until about 15 minutes into the match. Did something happen? Like, I didn't get that. Imagine booing a preseason friendly. You're not giving us a good depiction. You're not making us look good with this kind of nonsense. Like, come on, get it together. Like I said, football fans are weird sometimes. Guys, I thought I jinxed us yesterday when I was talking. Remember when I was talking about, like, I just don't want us to pick up any injuries. don't really want Wan-Bissaka if he's up for sale and he could be out the door, because of what if he picks up an injury. I almost pissed my pants when he got medical attention and he went off. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was just something in an eye poke or whatever. I don't know what's going on. But I did get worried for a second when he went down and got medical attention. I don't think he needed to play. Like I've said, play the kids. I don't care at this point. There was no need for it. As far as the performance goes in the second half, I'm not really sure what the plan was. It was clear in the first half, we were pressing high, we were getting chances, we were creating good opportunities. And then the second half, I just didn't really look like, there was any sort of plan there. And that's not me criticizing Ten Hag for like not having a style of play or anything. It's just because we had one in the first half and we know he has a style of play. It's just in the second half, it's just nothing was happening. Could have been partly due to Liverpool apparently just happy to time waste in a friendly and just hold on to the ball in their back line and just stand there with it, because apparently that's, you like time wasting in a preseason friendly is a thing now. But it was interesting. I didn't see what the plan was in the second half at all. Things just kind of fell apart. So I thought Oyedele looked decent when he came on. I thought like what I like to see from young midfielders is, especially midfielders who are playing in that 6 role, is just show me you can do the simple things well, that you can stay a little calm under some pressure in that delicate area of the pitch. I thought he did that. He was receiving the ball. He was passing it back real quick without dallying on it too much. Did a good job to drop his shoulder now and then just to create some time and space for himself. So again, didn't have an opportunity to showcase, but what I did see him do, it looked like he was doing simple things very well, and that's just what I want to see. So nothing too big to read into that. So the match ended 3-0 Liverpool. Honest to God, guys, and I'm not trying to criticize any of you, just I'm speaking in general from what I've seen online and everything since, and then YouTube and whatnot. 2 fan bases have been equally embarrassing after the final whistle, since the final whistle blew. Liverpool fans out here celebrating like they just won the final, criticizing Ten Hag. Yes, let's celebrate Mo Salah getting the better of a 17-year-old left back fresh from the academy and a midfielder literally fresh from the academy, both of whom were on our left side playing against Mo Salah. Let's celebrate that. That was like when they celebrated Virgil van Dijk bodying Daniel James a few years back and bloodying his nose. Like, let's celebrate a guy who's like 8 feet tall bodying a guy who's like 5 feet tall. Yeah, that's good. It's ridiculous, man. Rushing, I mean, and they're crazy. They're like, they want to, like, that's like the only criticism people try to have of Ten Hag is the style of play. Every rival fan base apparently has this style of play trophy ready to go, put on their shelf, and they're so in a rush to add it to their cabinet. Slots have been here a few months and won 3-0 after Ten Hag's been here for a couple years. How quickly they forget that Ten Hag beat Klopp like 4-0 in his first preseason at United after being here for a couple of months. Like, to lift that what is that, the Malaysian trophy or something that we lifted? And I'm not excluding United fans here. United fans have been just as bad, honestly, calling for Ten Hag to go already, being so frustrated that we lost that they're already bringing up the lack of signings as the reason. They're calling Ineos Glazers 2.0. Like, everyone is freaking out. Like, football, like I said, football fans are weird sometimes, man. The media has been embarrassing too. But that's just to be expected. Sky Sports had nothing to say about Man City all season when City were losing all their friendlies. But the moment City finally win a friendly, and Sky couldn't wait to start working for them. They're literally almost excited for City to finally win a friendly as they are for United to lose a friendly. It's freaking embarrassing and transparent as hell. And it's funny too. What was one of the things the media, like the low-hanging fruit the media was loving to take out of context and spin all season, right? It was how many shots we've conceded. They loved it. They put it out there all season. No one wanted to talk about where the shots are coming from, what the XG was on those shots, how many of those were from outside the box, how many blocks we made. They just, we conceded this many shots. Yeah, 2 of them might have been on target, and 18 of them are probably from outside the box. But no one wanted to add that context, though. But it's funny that when we had twice as many shots as Liverpool in this friendly, nobody wants to call that out. Nobody wants to bring up shots conceded at all. literally had 18 shots to their 9. 17 of our shots were from inside the box. So all but one of our shots were from inside the box. We had twice as many touches from inside the box as they did as well. So again, going back to Ten Hag, we're getting into advanced areas. We're creating chances. We're getting numbers into the area. We just can't finish our dinner. Finishing has been a problem at United for years. And you have to look at the common denominator. It's not the managers. It's not the coaching staff. It's the players. The players are just not clinical enough. They're just not good enough in front of goal. Like, that's just the way it is. They're just not getting good. Like, they're just not clinical enough. And it's just, you can't, there's not a button you can press. There's not just a simple magic word. There's not a pill. There's nothing you can do to just make the players more clinical. It's just, some of it might be mental. Maybe it's a confidence thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just a quality thing. You tell me what you think. Speaking after the match, Ten Hag did offer a couple updates regarding injuries. Anyone want to blame his training methods now? Yeah, I didn't think so. It's not the training methods. Ollie used to complain about our lack of fitness. It's not Ten Hag, all right? The players aren't fit, all right? That's just the way it is. If you watched last night's match, you'll know that Will Fish had to be taken off after he had a contact injury on a Liverpool player. I forget who it was, who Will Fish challenged. I think he was his ankle or something. Looked like it was a bit of a contact injury. So Ten Hag said, yeah, contact injury or impact injury. Ten Hag also said we had to sub Johnny Evans at halftime because he was ill, apparently. Lindelof was a precaution. And then we knew from Ten Hag's pre-match comments that Harry Maguire was left out altogether as another precaution. With all the defenders dropping like flies, again, what I told you yesterday, play the kids, wrap everybody in cotton wool, play the kids. Just do that. Like, I don't care. I don't care if we lose. I literally said in yesterday's video, I don't care if we lost this match 87-0 and played nobody but teenagers. As long as we didn't pick up any injuries, I would call that a win right now. And we have no idea what's going on with Will Fish. Obviously, I don't include him really because he's not really part of the first team. Wan-Bissaka could be interesting. Hopefully that's nothing too serious. Hopefully it doesn't hurt his move. Darkrow, big up. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Did you watch the match last night? What were your thoughts? What are your reactions? Let me know what you thought. On the match in general, I think Ten Hag admitted that, he, his staff, the players weren't happy with the way they conceded the goals. I mean, yeah, no shit. We already talked about that cutback goal for their second. That was just carbon copy of the kind of simple, cheap goals we've been committing all for the last year. But Ten Hag used a great word to describe the difference in the chances that, both teams created. He just said Liverpool were more efficient. Efficient. It's a great word. Definition of efficient: achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted effort or expense. Like, we make it look difficult. We get into the area, we get a lot of bodies in the area, but we're just passing. We look like we take one too many touches. We make it difficult on ourselves. We're wasting a lot of time. We're wasting a lot of passes, and we're allowing the opposition to constantly get back into shape. Like, we make it look hard. We're not in Liverpool. They made it look easy. They took their chances. Yes, we had twice as many shots. 17 of our 18 shots were from inside the box, but we get into the box and Liverpool have bodies in the box and we can't get a shot off. And it's just, we're not taking our chances. We're not efficient. Liverpool were efficient. We were not. And that's, again, common theme for many, many years. We get into areas, we create chances. We have a habit of not capitalizing on them. Bruno Fernandes has pretty much led the league in chances created and big chances now for the last couple of years. He's like up there in the top 1 or 2. But he's playing with attackers who just can't finish their dinner. And this is a problem. We've seen that Rasmus Højlund is clinical. He had one of the best conversion rates in the league last season, but obviously he's not playing right now. So it is what it is. Darkrow, writing off Liverpool for their new manager and not buying any players is not sensible. Yeah, you don't want to write off anybody. But again, it's the same as United. We don't want to freak out when we're not selling players. Like, that's the reason we're not doing it. I'm not saying you're doing it. I'm saying that's what I've seen from United fans. If you watch the beginning of the video, yeah, you never write off Liverpool because it's the same players that they've had that have been performing. And so, it is what it is. I will admit Darwin Nunez never really worries me because the guy just he's like Torres at Chelsea. He just couldn't finish his chances. I don't worry about Darwin Nunez. Obviously, Mo Salah is a cheat code in many ways. So it is what it is. I think that the United fan base freaking out over a loss to Liverpool in a preseason friendly, and Liverpool overhyping a preseason win in a friendly when you've got Mo Salah going up against Harry Amas and Toby Collier is a bit over the top, in my opinion, but that's just me. Touching on those injuries again, though, Ten Hag was asked specifically about Jadon Sancho. So we saw Jadon Sancho kind of getting involved a little more centrally again last night. He was asked specifically about, is that something you see him doing against, Man City in the Community Shield in a week? With Højlund unfit and Xerxes kind of a question mark right now because Ten Hag is weird when it comes to players getting up to speed. He admitted there's a chance that Sancho could be deployed as a striker in that match. In his words, he said, yes, otherwise we wouldn't play with him there. This is what we do if we don't have the availability of Rasmus. Of course, Xerxes, he is coming in. I mean, we'll see what happens. I could easily see Sancho as a false nine. Ten Hag has tried to play him in that role. Even last season, early in the season, I remember he was playing him as like an 8 at times. He was playing him as a 10. He's tried to get Sancho into the team. It just doesn't work. I don't know. And I mean, honestly, that makes me wonder about Mason Mount too. Mason Mount is tried in a lot of different positions. It makes me really question the reason that we signed Mason Mount if we don't have a clear defined role. If Bruno's not even there and Mason Mount isn't really able to play in that defined role, he looked bright the other day against Real Betis. Did not look great last night. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I can see Sancho maybe as a false nine if we need to in a certain emergency situation, or if we're up by a couple goals, middle of second half, maybe want to take Bruno off to rest or something. Maybe move Sancho there. Who knows? I like Sancho's dribbling. I like his link up play in those tight areas. I think he does excel in that. I don't see him as like this pacey winger, but you let me know. Big up Donny van de Beek, by the way, for grabbing himself a goal for Girona in their friendly last night against Napoli. You could see that he was happy to be back out on the pitch, happy to grab a goal. Happy for him. I've always liked Donny van de Beek. I've never not been honest about that. I thought he was one of the best midfielders in the world back when Ajax were on their big run, and clearly a lot of people agreed. He finished in like the 20th-ish odd place for Ballon d'Or votes after that season. He's a good midfielder. Ollie just didn't want him. He didn't really know how to use him, and honestly, Ollie is a big reason why Donny van de Beek struggled because he never played him. The guy came on in his debut against Crystal Palace and scored a goal for us. If that were an English player, if that were an academy product, people would still be going on about that. But it is what it is. But big up Donny van de Beek. I hope it goes well this season for you, Girona. I hope you prove the critics wrong. And I hope, Ollie, that you're watching and you're kicking yourself for not using him a little bit more. And real quick to close out, let's all wish our former captain, Antonio Valencia, a very happy birthday today. I think he's what, like 38, 39 today. So my age. So happy birthday, Antonio Valencia. What a warrior you were for us. I remember in that Champions League game when you got all bloody and swollen and you were looking like Rocky at the end of the first couple Rocky films. Still fighting, still bloody, still putting it all out there. Very undervalued player, in my opinion, for us. Always fought, even when he was moved to right back. I thought he was an excellent right back. So big up Antonio Valencia. Happy birthday, my friend. I'll leave the chat open for a few more minutes because that is going to do it from my comments on last night's match. Again, preseason friendly. Yes, we lost. It's 3-0. It is what it is. I'm not going to freak out too much about Mo Salah bodying Toby Collier and getting past Harry Amas. I'm not going to freak out about another offside goal conceded. I am going to criticize Onana's habit of parrying saves back into the area because that's frustrating. And I am going to criticize our failure to finish our chances. We created a lot of chances last night, a lot of shots, a lot of good shots from inside the box, and we just could not get it done. And it is what it is. You have to be able to finish your chances. And it's been a theme for United for many, many years. And it does cost you in the long run. You have to take your chances when you get them. We've seen that many times over the years that we get all these chances, we're not putting them away, and all it takes is us to concede one set piece goal or one counterattack goal, and we drop points. And this is the difference between teams who want to really challenge and win trophies and teams that don't. You have to take those chances. And until we do, until we maybe get players in that can, I think that we're going to be that team. Yeah, we're going to squeeze by with an FA Cup final and care about. Maybe we'll get to the Europa League final this year. We'll talk about that in another video, what the expectations are. But I think that the players that we have and the players that Ten Hag has, Ten Hag still has Jose Mourinho players. Got to remember that. It's just until we can get adequate replacements that suit this system of play, and honestly, players that are better than who we have, I don't know how soon we'll get back to a place where we can really be almost considered as almost just givens in terms of title pushes or trophy challengers. So let me know your thoughts on the match. Let me know your thoughts on Federico Chiesa, not part of the plan moving forward, along with several other players in that squad. Would you take him at United? Like I said, we have a lot of wingers. Do you see Sancho playing as a striker, as a false nine if we need to? Would you play him there? Would you rather stick with Bruno in that position? Would you throw McTominay up there? We've seen McTominay pushed up there many times. So let me know your thoughts. That is going to do it for me. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. And enjoy the week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully, we'll get some updates maybe the next couple of days. I do think the Wan-Bissaka Mazraoui thing will probably be wrapped up in the next couple of days. And as always, if anything does pop up later on today, I will be back to get your thoughts and share some of my own. Darkrow, he once brought his whole family for lunch during Sir Alex Ferguson time. Valentine, I read in Sir Alex Ferguson's autobiography, with his labor upbringing, he should be playing at his age. Sir Alex said his upbringing was. Who are you talking about there? I'm talking about Valencia. Is that who you're talking about, Darkrow? Probably. I'm going to assume yes. In any case, thank you guys for stopping by. Again, once again, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you're not able to catch the live, no big deal. Leave a comment. I respond to all the comments on the video after the fact. Love to hear your thoughts on everything, so let me know. Big up Darko for stopping by this morning. I will see you guys on the next one. Valencia, yeah. Good job. All right, brother. I will talk to you later. Bye.